Okay, and you know what? It's not Wednesday. It's Sunday. And welcome to a special edition, the 53-man roster edition of Buc What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Super Heavyweight. You follow me, I'll follow you back. And I'm joined by my co-host, Michael Pless from Real Bucs Talk. How you doing tonight, Michael?
Fantastic. It's almost football time.
Yeah, and man, a lot of stuff has happened. And we're joined tonight, special guest. Thank you, Mark, for showing up. Mark is one of the other writers at Real Bucs Talk. It's rare to get him on, so I'm always happy to get him on. I want to get him as much airtime as I can, so I can, kind of bait him into getting back on a little bit more often. But I'll see what I could do. How you doing, Mark?
Doing great. Excited about Bucks' final moves. Everything feels like a hurricane just hit us, like with all the
Don't
big
say
news.
that. Knock on wood, man. Knock on wood. Irma's out there.
I should shut up about that, but
Exactly.
but no, I'm just excited. Like how early in the morning was it? I was woken up by it, but excited, ready to hear what you have to say, and glad to be back.
Yeah, man. I mean, God, there's just so much. Where do we? Let's start with the signing. Michael, I'm going to start with you. I want to talk about this signing that just it pretty much erased everything that everybody was saying at the end of the season last season. So I want to start with you, and let's talk about the free agent acquisition.
Yeah, I have a funny story. I put this in my article today, and I put out a tweet yesterday. Last night, I saw that the Steelers and the Panthers were interested in getting TJ Ward, and I was like, please don't let him go to the Panthers. And it seemed like Jason Light saw our tweet, and he made it happen. So I went to bed and I just passed out. I thought we might sign TJ Ward. I was like, I was thinking it. It makes sense. Mark has been preaching all week, like if he's available, we're going to pounce on him. And for some reason, I woke up at like 3:30 in the morning. I don't know why, but I woke up at like 3:30 in the morning, and I checked my Twitter feed, and I was like, TJ Ward to the Bucks. I'm like, holy hell! I'm like, damn, this is great. And I couldn't believe it, and I was pumped from then, and I couldn't go back to sleep. So I've been up since 3:30 this morning, and I'm on cloud nine. I mean, it's pretty awesome. I mean, you're getting a guy that is a 3-time Pro Bowler, instant upgrade, a guy that can play in the box. He immediately improves our run defense, and a guy that can also hang with tight ends, which we desperately need. Not going to be a guy that you're going to put in, center field. Signing. I'm ecstatic. It's going to do a lot of things for this team.
Mark, your thoughts?
Yeah, like you were saying, like we're talking about it throughout the week. Like, okay, Joe Hayden got cut. You think we got a chance at him? Like, really, to me, we shouldn't have even called because, look at our position we had. We have Grimes, he still has it. You have VH3, who's going to take another huge step. And then you have Ryan Smith, who's showing he can be that number 2 guy. What are you going to do? Get another Joe Hayden and then down his progress? So, no, to me, that was dumb. And he mentioned TJ Ward. I'm like, holy hell. Yeah. I mean, a guy like that as a free agent, safeties don't command as much money as a shut down, lockdown corner. We can afford a safety. Plus, that's a position where we don't have a staple guy that's like, oh, hell yeah, he's going to lock down that side of the field. He's a dog, a lead dog. We have Keith Handy, Chris Conti. They're okay. They're average at best. I mean, they do their job. Let's put it that way. But TJ Ward can take it to another level of a superior. He's a Pro Bowl, 3-time Pro Bowler. He can take you up to that next level. Like he was saying, against tight ends, I watched him against the Panthers and the Chargers. He's always on the tight end, always on Olsen, always on Gates in San Diego. So he's only 5'10", 200 pounds, but he's covering these bigger guys. And he's manning up on them. He's doing pretty damn good. So I love that aspect. And he's a dog. He's not, like I've said with Evans, he kind of stays away from the crowd. He doesn't like to get dirty. Ward doesn't give a crap. He'll stick his nose where it needs to be stuck. I love that about him. He's aggressive. He's a confident communicator with the defense. That's why everyone's like, oh, he's gonna have to learn the defense. I'm like, he's a pro. He's like a what is it, 7 years? 7 years he's been in the league.
I think he's in his 8th year.
8th year. So I mean, he knows defenses. It's gonna have to get the language barrier. But we run so much 3-4, it's gonna be similar to what the hell he's been playing.
Right.
And people still think we're cover 2. We're not cover 2 at all. It's a lot of a lot of different concepts, and like he's gonna be familiar with a lot of stuff that we're doing.
And like, that's where you kind of get into situational football. You might see cover 2 every so often, but it's not like a base. That's not a base defense or anything like that. For me, guy, my phone was blowing up, and I couldn't figure out why. I'm watching Game of Thrones, and I'm sitting back here, and I'm nodding off, and then I look at my phone, and I see TJ Ward, because earlier in the day, I got a tweet that TJ Ward was going to sign with the Miami Dolphins. So I was like, oh, man, we got to face this guy. So I had totally written that off. And, I pretty much put down social media the rest of the day because I was kind of bummed. And so I'm watching Game of Thrones, and I keep hearing my phone keeps going off because I keep getting tweets. And I got this Ric Flair woo sound when it goes off. So every time, it's like maybe 10 times. And so I finally looked, and I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And so I started circling back through everything, and I was like, wow, this is getting ready to happen. And then the first thing that popped in my head was, wow, they just locked in. Well, I can't say locked in. This is the beginning stages of a 53-man roster is where we were yesterday. And that's, again, Michael, to your credit, you're the one that kind of got me in that mindset that when you get to 53-man roster, that's the beginning of it, because it's still fluid and it can still continually change. So I'm thinking, okay, well, here we go. And I'm thinking, well, automatically, who do they keep and who do they get rid of? And, I've had that going in my head, back and forth. And it was something I never really thought about what they were going to do. But by the Bucs getting rid of trading JJ Wilcox, who was an upgrade, in my opinion, over Bradley McDougall, who's in Seattle, they've just upgraded again. They just knocked it out of the park this time. So I think they've done an excellent job. My hat's off again to Jason Light. And, on this show, I don't think I've had too many negative things to say about him other than Beckwith, which I was dead wrong again. Hands up. I was dead wrong again about Beckwith. I mean, we'll be able to see him a little bit more in the season, but he's made some huge leaps in the offseason. So, and in preseason as well. So I'm happy to be wrong about that.
I agree with you there. Like Beckwith, I'm with you. Like I said, there was things, he was one of those guys that if the ball was past him, he'd let it go.
Right.
That's what you saw in tape in college. That's what he'd just a run stuffer. That's all he would do.
Yeah, and he couldn't shed blocks. I was like, come on, dude.
Well, he still hasn't shown that to me yet. Like literally shedding a block. He's getting around people, but I still have to see him shed a block. But still, his motor, I'd never seen that. He would literally let it go by him. Maybe it's because they had him weighing a little bit more in college, and now he's dropped a few, so he's ready to go after guys. But I've never seen him run around like that. Like it's a step above me, and I'm like, holy crap, I want to see more of that. That's what I want to see. That's a player that we wanted to draft, and that's what he's making himself into.
Oh, absolutely. And Michael, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the Beckwith assessment, but I mean, back to the Wilcox trade, I mean, that is and plus you get a 6th round pick in addition to that. I mean, now you add more flexibility to your next year's draft, which is huge. A huge upgrade. And everyone was on the cut Chris Conte and all that crap. No, this team needs Chris Conte because he is a legit safety where he can play deep center field and make plays sideline to sideline. So yeah, I don't agree with that. And what this gives us, it gives you the opportunity to be more flexible. Now you have TJ Ward who can play nickel, and you can pretty much be that big nickel formation with him in the slot covering tight ends or what have you. And then you have Chris Conte staying deep, and then you can have Tandy come up box as well. So really it just improves everything across the board as far as your defense goes, makes you more versatile. And when you're versatile in this league, you're dangerous, and that's what this defense can be.
And I think that's the main concept for players that are coming into the Buccaneers organization now under Jason Light. You have to be versatile. You have to be able to play multiple positions. Now, I can't say everybody, but the majority of the players that come in, you have to be able to play multiple positions. It's not you're a specialty player. Those days are gone. You have to be able to do multiple things in order to make this team. And I think that's really benefiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you're really going to see a lot of that as the season progresses, because it will be a very long season considering where the bye week is.
I mean, running off what you said, being multiple positions, I mean, look at our defensive linemen. Like, Robert Ayers can play both tackle and William Golson, both tackle and Channing Ward, who just finally made it at the end, plays both positions. That's probably a big role why he made it at the end. Like, those are big guys that can both rush from the inside and the outside. Plus, we're seeing a lot more 3-4s, so that also adds to it. But still, like, you need to be multiple. All of our offensive linemen, same thing. Our guards can play center. Damn near all of them can do that. So it's really damn good that we have so many multiple positions that if one guy goes down, it won't be that bad of a downgrade from the next player.
Yeah, most definitely. So let's start talking about the 53-man roster. I want to get you guys' ideas on, were there any surprises to you, just based on how players played and the things that you heard on social media or that you saw on the news? Mark, I'm going to start with you. Were there any surprises on players that were either cut or players that made the team?
For me, probably not. But for the average fan, yeah. Well, I'll say just based on not having enough talent in the tackles, left tackle and right tackle, Wester, I'm just not a big fan of. I wouldn't have kept him if we had anything better. But Auclair, I'm surprised he made it. I mean, he did play good, but I thought we'd have someone better that we'd want to hold. I mean, consider we have Bray and O.J. Howard. We don't need another big-time guy. Loved us keeping Cross. McLean, I loved that we signed him. I knew he was going to make it from the get-go. Really surprising to me, not really. Like, that, what we have is what we should have had, and I stand by it. I mean, I think that's the best 53 we've had in a long, long time.
Well, what about McNichols? And I know McNichols was the guy that was supposed to either replace Charles Sims or Doug Martin right after he was drafted. I heard that a lot. And I mean, I've always been of the mindset that Doug Martin, it's his position to lose. When they didn't draft a running back in the first round, I was of the mindset that that's his job to lose. He came back from rehab in the right mindset. He came back physically fit and ready to play, and he did everything that was required of him when it came to the coaches during practices. So I've always thought that Doug Martin has done enough to secure that job again, despite the suspension. Mike, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I think what happened is the Bucs, they got some bad information. I think this was going to be a good pass protector, and unfortunately, that was not the case. Even though on game tape he showed flashes of being a good pass protector. But again, you got to look at the competition he's going up against. When I did some more digging, I saw some guys that I heavily respect as far as their scouting takes, and they had this guy as an undrafted out of the draft. So it just shows you, sometimes you fall in love with a guy on tape, but sometimes it's just not what you thought, originally. And Dirk Cutter is from Boise State. He has that Boise State connection. So maybe he got some bad information from one of the coaches that he trusts, and it just didn't work out. But I wish the kid the best. I think he's in a great situation with San Francisco. It's closer to home, so hopefully. But it just didn't work out. here in Tampa.
Yeah, and the pressure is not going to be on him in San Francisco. I think this is going to give him a chance to grow. I thought he had tools. He has physical tools to do things. I just felt like he's very raw, and he needed a little bit more time. And I said this last week about him.
It's up here too, mental.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, and you know what's really cool watching Hard Knocks is it gives you insight on some of these players, and you could tell that he wasn't getting it down mentally. He wasn't getting it down, and they would quiz him on stuff, and he wasn't sure. Just like Bobo Wilson was another one. Just couldn't quite get it up here, and couldn't get that to translate. Now you compare that with a Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin, totally different mindset. This guy was prepared from the time he stepped on the field, the first time, and you heard that from Dirk Cutter. Chris Godwin is prepared. And he didn't say that about – I've never heard him say that about anybody. But for him to say that about –
a girlfriend like that, I mean, he's going to be prepared.
He's whipped into shape. I mean, he's whipped into shape. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's swole. She's swole.
Yeah.
For quads like that, he better walk a straight damn line.
That's right, man. It could end bad. It could end really bad.
No, but that thing about McNichols.
Uh-huh.
Like y'all saying up here, if you don't know the playbook, you're not getting get on the field. Like, how the hell you expect him to take over Doug Martin when he's easily the most superior running back we have on the roster? Charles Sims, I don't know why everyone hates the damn guy. He's good at one damn thing. Let him be good at what he does. Like, use him to what he's best at. Yeah, we saw he couldn't run the ball as a lead back. Okay, there's not a lot of guys that can. There's 32 teams. Okay, Deion Lewis isn't a damn lead back. Come on, let's give him a break. So put him in a different role. Cutter knows the role he's supposed to be used in. He had to force him into a different role last year. He's not going to have to do that this year. Let him stay. That's why he's not the lead back right now. Rodgers is. So leave Sims alone. Damn.
Yeah. Thank you so much for saying that. I felt the same. I felt the same way. I couldn't understand why they were automatically somebody had to go. Somebody who's been playing had to go. Charles Sims is a threat to break it. If you're throwing the ball to him in the flat, he's a threat to break it every single time. Just ask the Atlanta Falcons. They'll confirm this for you. And
now imagine even now more. Like, no one's talking about him. What about in the Dolphins game? Say everyone's talking about Deshaun Jackson, Evans. No one talks about Bray. Everyone talks about O.J. Howard. Those big three, everyone's focusing on them. Say this so-called Sims comes out the backfield, wide open in the middle of the field. This guy can make you miss and does things in the open space. We're going to give him the open space he wants. Let him do it. Like, I don't see why. And Winston keeps saying he's going to check it down more and get what the defense is giving him. Imagine what the hell this guy can do in the open field and off a dump off.
That's scary.
No linebacker on him, like, because they're focusing on Bray or Howard. Let's see. Let's just give him a break, like, because Rodgers, I'm not so set on as a lead back either. Even though all of Bucs Nation was like, "Oh, Rodgers is better than Doug Martin last year," which I could not believe. The whole radio too, and big outlets around here, like, oh my god, I couldn't believe it. Could not.
Yeah. Hey, look for Peyton Barber to take some of those carries from Jacquizz Rodgers. He's going to have a bigger role this season, at least for the first 3 games until Doug gets back. They're really high on Peyton Barber. He's improved a lot. He has that just pile through and get yards after contact. So I would expect him to get more touches, especially in goal line situations and short yardage situations. So that's a good note for fantasy people out there. If you're looking for a back to get, pick up Peyton Barber because he's going to get the load of the carries.
Yeah. And, again, guys, just kind of getting back to the 53-man roster. Michael, I want to get your thoughts. Were there any surprises for you in the 53-man roster, or did it kind of fall where you thought it would as we got closer to to that time?
No, I agree with what Mark said earlier. I mean, it was not very surprising. This roster is pretty much set pretty much after the draft. I mean, they made a couple other signings, but it was pretty much set. I didn't see any guys that were going to take anybody's spots. Claire. I agree with Mark's assessment of Claire. I didn't really think he showed much. I mean, he showed some blocking ability, but they felt, that's their fine. That's their undrafted signing, and they want to see what he can develop into. He's got a lot of skills, so we'll see what happens. As far as, I mean, which was kind of surprising, but Cameron Lynch played pretty well. So, I mean, he definitely earned that spot. Same thing with Darius Glant.
Maybe Reedy?
Yeah, Reedy too. I mean, Reedy was a surprise. I mean, he stepped up. I mean, he played probably the most consistent as far as training camp and preseason. And he really showed he can return the ball too. So gives us a different element back there, which was good. I mean, other than that, I mean, yeah, I mean, no real surprises. I thought they did a pretty good job. And I mean, the other big news that we can talk about is Jack Smith being back on the roster. I mean, that's huge. So that's big. If he's right, him and Noah Spence can really cause some havoc.
Preach, Plessy, preach.
Yeah, I mean, and with this Bucs organization, they've been real close to the vest about any injuries. I've noticed that about them. So you just kind of have to, say, well, what are they doing here? What are we? Is he really hurt or is he not hurt? But it's very good news to see Jack Smith back on the field, and for the fact that he actually but he traveled with the team for the Redskins game, if I'm not mistaken, and I guess that could have been an indicator that he was getting closer to being ready.
Mm-hmm.
So just talking about the 53-man roster, for me, just like you guys, and we've been talking about this ad nauseum, it's kind of gone the way we thought it would go. There are some players that didn't make the team, whether it's by injury or there were some players that were put on IR. That those things happen. Next man up, you got to go out there and you have to get yourself ready. So if your name is called, you can go in and produce. I want to kind of jump over to the practice squad, because there are some players, and a lot of these players were from Hard Knocks players. Riley Bullock, it looks like, did make the practice squad. Bobo Wilson was another one I believe was signed to the practice squad as well. I'm hoping that he's open to learning from some of these coaches and putting himself in a position to succeed.
Yeah.
Oh, can I talk about that?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Oh, just Bobo Wilson, that clip on Hard Knocks last week, that really turned me off on him. Great athlete, great. I mean, he showed in the last preseason game, like, he can take it and do something with it. Like, not knocking that, but, like, you got to have the different demeanor. Like, this isn't FSU. He's like, oh, I got the ball at FSU. This ain't FSU. This is the NFL. This is a job. You better do what the hell they're telling you to do, or you're not going to get on the damn team. Like, I mean, he did show what he can do, but still, like, to me, like, a guy with that demeanor, I don't want on my team, sadly. Like, either put up or shut up. Like, come on. Like, that upset me. Riley Bullock, yeah, when you were looking for surprises, that wasn't a surprise to me. Like, obviously he showed he couldn't really do well in the pass. Yeah, he maybe could have made it on special teams, but special teams, you need to have speed to get down the field to make the tackles, right? So, I mean, he is a good guy.
Does he kind of remind you of Barrett Root a little bit?
That's what someone compared him to on Twitter. I saw that.
It's interesting because I always remember Barrett Root as not having the speed. He is good at tackling and certain plays. He was good. He was a good vocal leader, but he just didn't have the physical tools to do everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
that's kind of what they were alluding to when they were talking about him. But he does have a high energy, and he wants to get out there and do that.
Yeah, I mean, everyone fell in love with him. I fell in love with him too. It's like you want that passion in that player. You want Bobo Wilson to have that passion, like, of wanting to push yourself and push the people around you to make this team to thrive and be a winning team together, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, Cameron Lynch and Glanton were the other two he was competing against. Both speed guys. Both can run sideline to sideline. Both can run back in coverage. I put up clips on Glanton and Lynch last week. Both of them can fly. I mean, Bulla was going up against a hard linebacker corps to begin with, and then Devontae Bond too. Like, he got hurt, but still, they're keeping him.
Yeah, so most definitely.
He had a lot of competition to go up against, so it's not necessarily his fault. Like, if it was a lesser linebacker core, I mean, he probably would have made the team. But we're pretty loaded with speed and athleticism at linebacker.
You know, some just quick question for both of you guys. Amazement 717 was asking, now that we've accumulated all this talent, do you guys feel the coaching staff is going to take us to the next level? And Michael, I wanted to start with you on that question. And I'll kind of get back to Pewtercast made a really good assessment of it. But Michael, I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, coaching staff, I mean, this is probably one of the better coaching staffs we had in a while. I mean, you have a lot of good coaches throughout the staff. I think it really comes down to Dirk Cutter and his ability to learn from what last year, as far as we have to solve the red zone offense. I mean, that is really what's going to take us to the next level. Again, that starts with Jameis. I mean, Jameis is the key to our success. It's Dirk Cutter's ability to just, at times, he just gets a little too cute with his offense, and he just needs to be keeping it simple, take what the defense gives you, and keep attacking. I mean, just keep attacking the weakness. He can learn from that. I think his game management will get better. I saw that he's, like you said, he's being very coy with the injuries, as far as not telling the whole injury report, right then and there. He's waiting till Wednesday to, give out an injury report, or whenever he has to report it. So just little things, but I think this coaching staff is good enough to take this team, and you can already see the development of guys getting better each year. So Jameis has already improved his accuracy. Yeah, so I think definitely they can.
And Mark, I wanted to, if you want to chime in on that as well.
Yeah, like with coaching. Okay, so we already see Beckwith has already made big leaps and strides. That's a rookie.
Curse you! You stole my thunder.
Oh, my bad. For real, like, he's a guy that on college tape, he didn't show anything that he's showing right now. And the Bucs said, "Oh no, we feel like we can change him into this." We made him from middle linebacker to an outside linebacker, and he's playing with a motor. Like, you taught someone a motor. Like, that's crazy to me. But either way, like, the offensive, to me, yeah, I think we have the coaches to actually make this work. Like, Cutter, I love him. Mike Smith on defense, love him. Like, I think the coaches are set there. It's making sure everyone works together as a unit. Yes, it's hard to win a championship. You have to have luck in your side, but the players are set in my mind. Like, all the key positions are kind of set. Like, remember we were talking about, like, the line, linebackers, and safety? We have that safety, TJ Ward. Yes, he has to learn and get together as a unit. But we have Quan David, Gerald McCoy, Noah Spence. Like, we have things on all levels, which I love. And then we have Martin, Evans, D-Jax, Bray, Howard. We're loaded all around. So it's pretty much just hoping a little bit of luck to go along with all the execution of all these plays. Like Winston executing instead of doing one of those interceptions in the end zone like in Jacksonville. But
can I comment on that for just 1 second?
Yeah,
I don't know how many times you've watched that. There were two players in that vicinity of that pass. And if either one of them catches the ball, the Buccaneer fan base is pissed off because he was down by contact. So I just want you to think about that. There are two players. One was number 10.
Sure, it's Cameron Bray.
Cameron Bray and Adam Humphries. Adam Humphries had his back turned to the ball. Had he turned his head around, he could have caught that ball. I mean, just go back and look at it again, and you'll see what I'm talking about. We're talking about a totally different scenario had one of them caught that for a touchdown, because either way it was negated. So, I know he shouldn't have done it, but, at the same time, it's just one of those things. I expect him to improve. This is one of the negatives that you get. It's like good and bad that you get with him. He is a gunslinger. In his mind, he can get a ball in the hole the size of a quarter, And, that's just how he thinks. I mean, he wants to win. That's his job. He's trying to get touchdowns, and that's what he's trying to do. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying that's what he's got going on in his head, is that he's trying to score.
Well, I fully agree with you, and that's why you have plays like the Chicago Bears game. Like that's him saying, "No, I'm going to win this play my own damn self."
Right.
And
yeah, or the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons game that they had him wrapped up dead to rights, and that made every Atlanta Falcon fan around me go home. So I was happy for that play as well. But just kind of getting back to what we were talking about earlier. I'm right there with you. And Pewtercast made a really good response here when they said they have a quality head coach, which I agree with that. You have two coordinators who could and should be head coaches. When I listen to Mike Smith sounds like a freaking head coach. He's a defensive coordinator. But you listen to him and how he's looking at the game, he's looking at it from the offensive and defensive perspective, and he comes up with his assessment. You should have been here, based on what he knows, just because of his knowledge of being a head coach and a general manager. Jay Hayes, another guy, should be. Thank you, Kevin Sloan. Jay Hayes should be a defensive coordinator, but we just have so much talent. And Beckwith is a really good example because, guys, you guys know as well as I do, I was not for that move in the draft. I was like, what are the Bucs doing? I mean, I'm looking at this guy. This guy couldn't shed a block. I'm watching a tight end push this guy over to the sideline and totally out of a play. And, as physical as Beckwith can be, I would not expect that from him if you look at him from his physical stature. So, it was just something when I saw that I was like, wait a minute, he's got to be more aggressive. And now we're looking at these coaches. If you compare this coaching staff to Lovie Smith's coaching staff, these guys are teachers, and these players are responding to what they're being taught. Would you guys agree with that?
Right, Mike.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just look at a guy like Adam Humphries. I mean, under Coach Todd Monken, I mean, he continues to get better. You look at the growth of Mike Evans and his ability to find new ways to improve his game, whether it's, just look at the fade routes that he completes. I mean, he's find ways to get away with that little push off that he does, and he makes it work. I mean, just little tendencies that they're finding, making their game better. I mean, that's what it's about. But I mean, the biggest thing is Jameis Winston. I mean, him and Mike Bajakian, the work they do, just the overall mechanics of how Winston has come so far with everything is just more tight, way better. His movement skills have always been good, but they're even more impressive. He just looks more calm and overall his presence, he's taken over the offense. I mean, it's pretty impressive to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at Mike Evans. Remember, Mike Evans coming out of college was not a route runner. That was the knock against him. And there were people that were questioning drafting Mike Evans because he wasn't a solid route runner. And you look at him now and how he's grabbed the nuances of being a wide receiver, and he's really taken it to the next level.
Mm-hmm. Top 5 receiver.
Absolutely. So, so guys, your thoughts. I mean, we're getting ready to. I don't want to take away from the show on Wednesday because we will be talking about the Miami Dolphins. But what are your thoughts? As far as getting ready for this game, what's important to you? Is red zone? Would you say red zone, or what are the things that you feel are most important that the Bucs are going to really need to focus on getting ready for this game against the Miami Dolphins?
Here you go, Mike.
You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the forecast, I mean, it looks like it's going to be a rainy one. So I would say the most important thing is going to be our run game. I mean, we're going to have to be able to run the football to win this game. I mean, it looks like, I checked the forecast today, it says 80% chance of rain. So it looks like it's going to be, one of those slugfest games. So I think if we can run the football, I think that'll be key. Obviously, stop the run on defense, make Jay Cutler beat you, and he's prone to throwing interceptions. I think their offensive line is suspect in pass pro. So really, I mean, it's just establishing that line of scrimmage and get after the run game, make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with him. Just let's see what Sweezy can do. Let's see what the pulling guards can do and maul these guys. Like, their defensive ends, they may be speed rushers, but they're not big. They can't withstand the pounding. And if it's raining and big bodies are pushing them backward, to see if they can withstand that. And that's what I've been saying all offseason. I think this team is built to run with these big bodies that move people. So let's see if we can really establish that. And it's not with Doug Martin, it's with Rodgers, but still, like, it's all about the people in front of you pushing people out of the way so you have clear paths to run. I mean, Rodgers isn't the fastest to get in these holes, but still, I'll take rainy day 3-5 yard chunks every down. I'll take that and just slowly beat them for a W.
I really expect to see running back by committee. I don't think it's just going to be outside of Doug Martin, Tampa does not have an every down back. So I'm going to say that we didn't see it last season, and I don't expect to see it this season. I expect the coaching staff to be a little bit smarter about how they're using certain running backs and not running these guys into the ground, but being able to rotate them in as need be. But like you guys said, if it's a rainy game, that's what you want. You want somebody running behind a J.R. Sweezy, and he's somebody that you couldn't have game planned because he wasn't playing last year. So it's going to be interesting to see how defensive coordinators try to do that. And I think that the tight ends will play a huge part in this game as well, believe it or not.
Oh, massive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, absolutely. I mean, I think you're going to see a lot of plays where they're going to keep those tight ends in. They're going to chip block and then go out for passes, and you can just hit them on those short to medium yard passes in the flats and really take advantage of that. Their linebackers are kind of somewhat suspect, and I think you can get them out there and, one-on-one and take advantage of that. So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the depth of our tight ends is our strength, and a Pro Bowl tight end in Cameron Brate and an up-and-coming guy in O.J. Howard. I mean, Herman Edwards said it best, this past week. He's like, if you put those two guys out wide and you put Deshaun Jackson and Mike Evans in the slot, I mean, there's not much you can do. I mean, you can't defend that.
Pick your poison there.
Yeah. So
again, I don't want to give too much away because we'll definitely be talking about this with Dolphins Fincast. I have some representatives from that podcast that are going to be on to talk about the Miami Dolphins on Wednesday at 10 p.m. But just kind of getting back to the roster, what do you guys think as far as the moves that they've made? Do you see any potential upgrades anywhere on any of the on this 53-man roster that they've completed now that they've signed the safety?
Where else can they improve, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, do you see any other places where there's potential improvement, or they could upgrade it, like maybe a defensive end or something like that? Just somewhere that, or do you see this being the roster going into the first game of the season?
Like you're saying, we do need an edge rusher. We do need another speed rusher because we only have Spence. We don't have – I mean, now that Jack Smith's here, yeah, hopefully he can fill that role. But then again, everyone knows about his health issues and everything. Like, he can't stay on the field.
Right.
But if he can, it's going to be a dangerous combo. But either way, we still need another edge rusher. Yeah. Like, we're having to use the linebackers to fulfill that edge rush. But if there's the one biggest need, to me, it's always going to be that. That safety position, I'm beyond happy about. Backup tackles, but you can't find those nowadays.
Very, very rare. I think Mike said it best when he was talking about that. You just can't go out and find a tackle just like off the bat. They're just not out there. Those are players that you have to go into the draft and get them. Or if it's the perfect storm where it's right place, right time, where you can pick one up in free agency, yeah, I could see that. But outside of that, those guys aren't sitting on their couches. The best players are playing.
I'll say this, though. Your boy Mark Dominic, he had one of them. It was Donald Penn.
do not get me riled up, man. This is not the guy that I really want to talk about right now.
He did pick up a good one, and Donald Penn. He's been in here a while.
If you've seen any of his tweets today, he acts like I'm not even going to go there. He doesn't deserve that energy. I'm not even going to. Because
he was off his couch. He was eating Cheetos, and
Michael
Donald
Bennett
Penn
is
said,
on this. That still bugs me to see him in a Seahawks uniform, and it probably always will. But just
come on, Gene. He's a rock star. Come on, give it to him.
He's a retired rock star. Maybe like the Beach Boys or something. Is that kind of rock star you're talking about? Oh my God! Don't get me started on this guy. No, I'm really happy with what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have done. When I look at Hard Knocks has really opened my eyes to a lot of things. In my mind, I thought I had a good grasp on what Tampa was doing, what the organization was doing, but just to see, these backstories and just kind of see how people truly feel about other players, and just the organization as a whole. I'm just that much more proud to be a Bucks fan, and I wear my shirts even more proud. I mean, when I think back to that 2-win season, and I remember a Cowboys fan came up to me and he was like trying to make fun of me. I'm like, hey, I've been a Bucks fan forever. I've always worn my stuff, but just now, just when people walk up to you, wow, that's a really great organization, and you have a pirate ship. Hey, I can't argue that. You're right. Yeah, I'm proud of it.
Yeah. You got a pirate ship.
Exactly, man. So, guys, what kind of articles are you working on now? That's the big question that I have. I've really enjoyed what you guys have been putting out, as usual. But these last couple of weeks have been really excellent articles. So, what are you guys working on?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna really get it, cracking on Miami now. Trying to see, how this game is going to play out. Try to break it down as best as we can as far as strengths and weaknesses, and really dig in, that way. And other than that, I mean, just seeing what else is going to happen with see what other moves we might make. But I think we're pretty much set with the roster. I think this is going to be our 53, and hopefully we have, everybody ready to go, and but I mean, got to pray that this hurricane doesn't come and wipe us out. So,
bro, I'm probably as concerned as you guys are. I've been through 3 or 4 of them myself, and they're nothing to play around with. And when they say evacuate, you gotta go. You can always come back, but at least you'll have your life. And just what we've seen in Houston, and my thoughts and prayers go out to the people in Houston that are still recovering from all this. Just knowing what I've been through with the flooding and, coming back, and, it just downtown being flooded and stuff like that. It's hard. And I mean, I have as much concern as you guys do. I have a lot of friends and family in the Tampa Bay area. So, it's always going to be on my mind, and just realizing how powerful this storm is. It's just sitting out there, getting bigger and badder, concerns me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess
go
ahead.
About what we're going to do. Yeah, it's just, I'm going to be looking at a lot of mismatches. I'm going to go over the Dolphins preseason game, seeing where their strengths and weaknesses are.
Have you had a chance to watch any of that?
I've seen just like one game, just to skim through.
Let me ask you, I have one question about one player, and it's just always been bugging me since, last year. Laramie Tunstall. How has he looked?
Well, he's at left tackle now. He was playing guard last year, so he's
right. That's correct.
Acclimated, but I mean, either way,
is that his natural position where they have him at now?
Yeah, he's a good athlete. He's not Tyrone Smith, but he's a better athlete than Donald Penn. But he still's got to make his raw skills into an art form. Like he's still kind of raw, but he still has the tools to kind of dominate that position. Right now, I still think Noah Spence can beat him.
Mhm.
Like
Jeez
Jack
Louise,
Smith
that
can beat
guy-
him, but
I can't say this enough times, and I'll probably say this throughout every show. That guy is fast getting off the ball. And it's just hard to believe that Joe McCoy has more get up in his position than Noah Spence does going around the corner. I've never seen anything like that. Just watching him getting around a tackle, or getting around an offensive lineman to get to the quarterback is just ridiculous.
yeah, like Joe McCoy said, like his ankles must be the most flexible damn things in the world because the way this guy can bend, like his whole body
Yes, like the Matrix.
is still upright somehow, but his legs are a damn like 45 degrees the other damn side. But his ankles are twisted. It's like he's spraining his ankle every damn time he's going around, but he's getting there every damn time. And and what's crazy, it's like power steps through. So every time he's stuck in this position, but he's still getting around while doing his damn slap, rip, whatever he's doing, swim. He's still doing that while twisted in that position. So that's why it's special. He's not the biggest, most lengthiest guy, but he's still getting everything done that he wants to get done, and he's going to get a lot of holding calls. I'm going to tell you that. He didn't get a lot of holding calls in the preseason, but he's going to get a lot in the season. They're actually going to call those calls that they missed a lot. Like Joe Thomas had to hold him. Joe Thomas held him a lot of times.
He had to. What else could he do?
And they started doubling him. They had the running back go on him all the time. So I'm telling you, if Jack Smith's on the other side, look the hell out. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, that's the really intriguing part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for me is that front four. How are they going to all work together? I think Chris Baker has been holding out. I don't think we saw even 1% of what this guy is capable of doing in the regular season. That's just my personal opinion. Just based on his attitude and how he was out there, I just don't think we saw anything. I know he had some minor tweaks or whatever injury wise, but I just don't think we've seen anything close to what he's capable of doing. And you couple that with a healthy Gerald McCoy, that's somebody's going to be open. This is my whole thing. Somebody is going to be able to run free if these guys are causing the havoc that I expect them to.
I fully agree, Gene. I hope it does come out that way. I mean, and we're not even mentioning Robert Ayers or
a forgotten man,
right? Like, so it's and now TJ Ward's blitzer. So like, we have so many pieces. It's fun to see on paper and to talk about. But it's just I hope they really can execute how they're wanting to.
And I expect Lavonte David to play a huge part in this. Here's another guy that me and Michael have an inside joke because people talked about how horrible his season was last year and how non-existent Lavonte David was last year. And so me and Michael have this running joke about, people that say that, but he had a good year. I expect huge things from him this year, especially.
Let me
take it away.
Yeah, let me just
take it away.
Let me just say that Lavonte David and actually Kendall Beckwith are going to be blitzing a lot this season. They're going to be able to create pressure off the edge. And you've seen Mike Smith so far in the preseason. Like if the front four isn't getting there, he's going to dial up blitzes and makes things happen off the edge. And he's got the pieces to do it with the speed of his linebackers that can get in there. So, I mean, we have ability to create mismatches pretty much on both sides of the ball, which is very impressive. And it's a credit to Jason Light how he's built this roster where, like you said, the versatility just allows us to do so much more. And I think William Golson is another guy that hasn't really shown what he's capable of this preseason. I think he's going to really take his game to the next level because I know Jay Hayes has really been working with him. I think he's going to show a little bit more in his pass rush as well. Again, he's a force in the run game. But if he can add anything as far as sacks, even if it's 5 sacks, I mean, that's going to be huge. So, yeah, I mean, just their ability to create mismatches, and they're going to blitz if they have to in order to create pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm actually looking forward to that. But again, that's probably the front four is the most intriguing part of the
Mhm.
Bucks, the Bucks defense that I'm actually looking forward to. The rest of these things, I mean, you kind of know what you have. I mean, I'm watching Deshaun Jackson running go routes, and it just blows my mind because he's gone, and you're just putting a deep ball out there for him. And that's something that defensive coordinators have to plan for. And I know I've said this multiple times on the podcast, in previous podcasts, but defensive coordinators will not be able to game plan for the Tampa Bay Bucks like they did last year. There's no way. I mean, you might as well just turn in your resignation right now if you're going to try to stack the box and think that you're going to get the same results that you got last year.
Mm-hmm.
Please blitz Winston. Please. Send your safety.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, send them.
Yeah, let me.
Send them on.
Yeah, on that point, Gene. There's a play that the Bucks ran last year against the Falcons in Week 1. The ASJ touchdown. The Bucks are going to be able to do that, and they're going to be able to do it more consistently with OJ Howard, because OJ Howard is going to be lined up against a linebacker, and he's going to be able to just run down that seam. You'll have Brayton next to him. He's going to be able to go up to the opposite seam, and Howard's just going to be able to go across the middle. And he's going to be open pretty much every time. I mean, it's going to be hard to stop. And if he's covered, I mean, then Braid's going open for a touchdown. So it's like you said, pick your poison. I mean, if you're the defense, you pray, and you hope your front four gets. I mean, you hope the front four gets after Jameis. But I think with our offensive line and our ability to max protect, I think Cutter does a great job of making sure guys are chipping. And getting those edge rushers out of the pictures, so be fine as far as the tight ends go. I'm not worried about it, but it's going to be hard to stop. I mean, you can't game plan like you used to, like you said. I mean,
yeah, and then considering you've got Mike Smith, you've got a head coach that's a defensive coordinator, and guys, I don't know about you, but I've always thought that Mike Smith should have never left Atlanta. I just felt like he never had the weapons that he needed to run the team like he wanted to. Mm-hmm. And, I still feel that way, especially on defense. I felt if he had the right defense, if he had the right players, his defense would have been a little bit more successful. That's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong here, but just seeing what he's doing with the Buccaneers defense and the people that he has helping him, I mean, he's really improved a lot of players in a short amount of time.
I'm not a fan of their GM, the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not a fan of Dimitroff. I mean, he's obviously got better people around him now. I think Dan Quinn is having a bigger voice in the draft room because their drafts are obviously better. But Dimitroff, I don't like the guy. I thought especially during Mike Smith's years, he had some terrible drafts. I mean, just not very good, especially on the defensive side of the ball where they needed help, and they continued to ignore it, and it ended. It hurt Mike Smith's career there.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm glad he's here. I think he's a heck of a coach.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a heck of a coordinator.
Absolutely. Yep.
One of the big big free agent acquisitions of the offseason.
The biggest one, and we're glad he's here because he might not be here long enough. He'll be up for a head coaching job next year as well. So, I mean, we're happy to have him.
Yeah, absolutely. Learn all you can. So, guys, I know we've been. Can't believe it's almost been an hour. I'm gonna go through some of the chat questions because again, I really appreciate people that are, being part of all this. And let's see. Eric Moreno said Sunday with Tandy. Who would start, Tandy or Conti, on Sunday versus the Dolphins?
It's going to be Tandy. It's going to be Tandy and Conti are going to be the starters. I don't expect TJ Ward to start right away.
Yeah.
I think he'll be in rotation.
And folks, don't jump out the window. Chris Conti he's improved a lot, and towards the back end of the season, he made some pretty big plays that really helped the Tampa Bay Bucks in getting some wins. So keep that in mind, when you're criticizing him. Jason Light brought him back for a reason and re-signed him. So you have to keep that in mind. And when you've seen everything that Jason Light's done, you kind of just have to wait and let it play out and see how it's going to go. Right now, at this point, for me, I won't even question anything else Jason Light does. Seriously. I'm dead serious right now. Well, okay, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Where people are jumping out the window complaining and, people on suicide watch because Jason Light didn't do what they want him to do. Listen, just chill. Let's see what he does and just kind of go from there. I'm not gonna question him anymore. I mean, he's shown that he's all about winning. He's about winning now. He's about improving this team. So that's all you can ask for in a general manager. So let's see here. Question for Mike. Can TJ Ward start on Sunday and get the playbook down? This is from Eric Moreno. And I just wanted to put that out there. I know you had commented on it. But I don't, like you said, I don't know how you would really get him in there this fast.
I don't expect him to start. Again, they're all three of them are going to play, like I said, because you're going to have a rotation. The Bucs like to use 3 safeties on the field. Again, it's all about matchups and what you can do. Again, most of your defensive snaps are in nickel situations. So, whether it's playing 3 defensive linemen and getting more defensive backs out there, that's a possibility. Or you can go, like I said, Ward can play the slot, or you can have even Keith Tandy in the slot. So there's a lot of things they can do as far as defense goes.
All right. Jason Flessman was asking, he said he may take on the role of grooming Justin Evans. Do you see TJ Ward as part of that, like grooming Justin Evans, teaching him some of the nuances of the safety position?
Or he may help him out.
Yeah.
Is he gonna guide him and give him like his job? No. I mean, Justin Evans was drafted really high to take a position. Everyone thought he was gonna be the starter. I remember everyone was calling for him over Conti. Like, give me a break. Like, look at what he's doing. Like, come on. Like, TJ Ward is in the competition to be the starter right now. Justin Evans just needs to step back, watch what they're doing, learn the defense before you start trying to think you're going to take someone's position.
Yeah.
Like, he needs some grooming. Like, I watched every preseason game, and he's
very raw.
Still very raw. He's running way out of the play. He's not getting into blocks. He's very raw. I mean, he did get 2 bad penalties against him, and one was fine. I couldn't believe that crap. But, I mean, he just needs to learn now. Don't worry about Justin Evans. He'll make his plays on the special teams right now. Let him learn behind, TJ Ward, Conti, and Keith Tandy.
All right. And let's see. The Pewter Cast was saying Anthony Auclair was a pleasant surprise. Stevie T not getting cut, placed on IR was a surprise. Again, he's a guy you really didn't – you couldn't really – I don't think I saw enough of him to really have an actual decision on him. And, again, I'm not at camp every day, so I couldn't really tell you. But I obviously the Buccaneers saw something in him that they put him on IR instead of cutting him.
Can I answer that real quick?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
So Stevie T, okay, you're not going to see much of him jumping off a tape because he's not fast. He's not.
No, he's
quick.
A run stopper.
He's just a big body. It's going to take up a lot of space, and he did show a lot of that. But still, like Jason Light's using the IR to keep him and see what the hell he can do next year. Like, you got to use what you have to your ability. So Jason Light's actually being really damn smart and saying, okay, let me just throw you on IR. We'll give you another year to show what you can do. Mm-hmm. I mean, later in the year, if he sees something that's better, he can just say, okay, sorry, well, you're on IR, but we will find something that's better. We're to move on. And he's shown that with McNichols. He's shown that with what the hell did he release after 1 year? Aguayo. So come on, like he's not afraid to get rid of you if he sees something better. Right? He's not scared. He's not at the whim of a head coach. The owners aren't on his ass. That supposedly that's what they were with Aguayo. So he's at the helm. He's going to do what he wants, and he's going to do what he feels is best for the team.
Yeah, most definitely. And Kevin Sloan was saying Godwin looked like a veteran in a rookie body. Yeah, that's pretty much, that's pretty much what we thought about him. I was mentioning that before, how happy the coach was with him. Let's see.
That's his girlfriend.
Sims, Jason Fleshman, Sims should be a slot receiver, not a running back. But if he can stay healthy, just have him do his job. No, Sims is where he needs to be, and again, he's a threat. Every time he touches that ball in the flat, he's a threat to gain big chunks. So, again, I'm glad he's on the team, and I think that fans are going to be happy with what they see from him. Once Doug Martin gets back and you can get that rotation going, I see him being brought in as a change of pace. To where they can, potentially run the ball, or they can throw it and, get those big plays. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he can pass block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he's not.
Yeah, I mean, 2015, he was one of the better change of pace backs in the league. So, I don't know what that guy's talking about. I mean, slot receiver, get out of here.
It's amazing what 1 year can do, though, right?
Yeah, you never know. You just never know. Let's see here. Okay, guys, who's going to be the kick returner, punt returner for the Bucs this year?
I think it's going to be Reedy. It's going to be Reedy, and Adam Humphries probably gets some chances. I mean, I think Humphries and Reedy most likely. Maybe Ryan Smith.
Yeah, Ryan Smith too.
Yeah, that's a possibility. And somebody who came in late and was asking about TJ Ward. We're all on board with the Ward move. I mean, that's a monster upgrade for those of you that are just joining us. And it's going to do nothing but benefit the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with this move. What you have to consider is when the season ended last year, we were stuck with Bradley McDougald. And there's nothing wrong with Bradley McDougald for what this team. I mean, you got to consider, who the other options were at the time that Bradley McDougald was playing. So that's the only reason I'm saying that, for what he was, that's what we had. And then he thought so much of himself that he went out, tested the market, and now he's a backup in Seattle with the Seahawks. So we went out and got J.J. Wilcox. And then from there upgraded to TJ Ward, and then ended up with a draft pick on top of that. So shaved a little bit off of the cap. So as a general manager, I feel like Jason Licht did his job and then some. So he put this team in a chance to succeed and not jumping ahead too much to the next draft. But this is a potential pick that could be used to move up further into the draft and get a player that you truly want. So what they've done was they've helped themselves for next year's draft to only make this team better.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, TJ Ward's such a big improvement that still safety was a position that you weren't confident in, but you knew they could do the job. Now TJ Ward gives you a whole other. Remember how we use this word multiple? He can be multiple. He can be one-on-one with your tight end. He can help you in run support. He can go back and play zone. He's not the best at zone, but he can still do it. Like, there's things where he's really damn good at, and he can shut down a part of the field with. Like, run defense, he's really damn good. One-on-one with a tight end, he's really good. So that's an area where we didn't really have that last year. We didn't have just go on the tight end. You'll lock him down. We didn't have that. Greg Olsen tore us up. Like, come on. Like, we never had that.
That was atrocious.
So, I mean, he has that aspect in his game. I mean, we wonder why the Broncos cut him. Maybe it was just salary. Maybe he is slowing down, but he's only 30. To me, I don't think he should be slowing down. I think hopefully he has the same mindset.
From everything I read, it was a salary situation. He was a cap casualty. And that's basically what it came down to. You see, they brought back Brock, oh my gosh, Weiler, and I think he's your starting quarterback, whatever, to provide them with plenty of interceptions to come. So,
hey, I've been up since 3:30, so I think the move's outstanding. I think it's I'm excited. I mean, it's gonna be it's a great addition. I mean, guys, he's won a Super Bowl. He has winning pedigree. I mean, he's just going to bring so much to this team. It's not only his play, but his overall leadership and his swagger. You have a guy that,
TJ Ward is a difference maker. I don't know if you guys remember when he came to Denver and he was injured for a little bit. and Denver's defense was all right. But then you bring this guy in here, and he's a difference maker. Totally changed everything around. So I'm super excited to have him here. And too bad for the donkeys. So there's that. And let's see. I think we're down to the last parts of these. So guys, it's been an hour, and I know it's late there. Michael Pless has been up covering the whole TJ Ward thing, and I can tell he's tired. He's out on his feet.
Yeah.
Looks like Conor McGregor over there. But
I'm running out of gas.
He's running on fumes right now. So Michael, let me get your final thoughts, and I'll get you guys out of here.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it's football season. I mean, we're only 7 days away. I mean, I think Thursday's the actual first game, but I'm ready to go. I mean, this is our second year of Real Bucs Talk, and we're super excited. We're so thankful for all the fans and Bucs fans that support us, follow us on Twitter. The feedback that we got has been really good, and we're just continuing to grow. And we're just, we do this for all Bucs Nation. We're just trying to educate people out there and just try to help any way we can. And it's really awesome. We enjoy to do this. This is our passion, and it's really awesome now that we have this platform to share it with everyone. And we're ready for the season, and let's go get that first victory and start it off right.
All right. Hey, Mark, I want to thank you, and I want to thank your wife especially for, letting you be on here, man. And, whatever I need to bribe her to get you back on here more often, I'll do it. But I want to get your final thoughts, man.
Same as Mike. Like, we're loving the whole ride. Like, there's never been this much hype for a season. Like everything from the new practice facility growing up, the team's getting good. Like, we're expecting playoffs, we're expecting winning, we're expecting big things, and like everyone is talking about it. It doesn't matter if it's good, bad, they're just talking about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that's what we want to have. And like, we love all the fan base. Hit us up on Twitter, please. Like, talk, argue with us. I'll love to argue back. Like, as long as we're all talking about the same things, about winning what we want to do, right? Fight me about a guy you want on the roster, and I'll be like, hell yeah, I hope he does make it, but I see this guy's better. I don't care. I want to talk with anyone about Bucs football. That's what we want. That's what we want to kind of educate people on. Don't just think, oh, this guy's good because he's good. No, I'm gonna show you why he's good. And you can go look on our website of why he's good, because I'm showing you reasons, and we go over everything. That's why we love our site, because everything we're looking at, we're showing it to you. So it's not just our opinion. You can grow your own opinion off of it.
Absolutely.
We're ready for the season. We're ready for big things.
Yeah, and folks, remember, realbuckstalk.com. Go and check it out. I know you have Pewter Report. You've got a lot of different spots that you can go to, but please add this to your list. There are so many other things out there, but the content's amazing, and you'll get educated if you go in and read these articles. It'll really help you to appreciate the game. You get to dig a little deeper into football. And for me, I want to thank everybody, as I always do, for coming on, checking out the podcast. I appreciate your input in the live chat, and I try to respond to as many as I can. And if I miss you, hit me up on Twitter. Give me your questions or comments that you want me to add on the podcast, and I'll make sure to get them on there. Again, shout out to the Stick Carriers, to What the Buc Nation, to the Buckaholics, and anybody else I missed out there. Keep doing what you're doing. Oh, the Buccaneer Invasion. You guys keep doing what you're doing, and we can all support this team as a fan base, because that's what they need, and get some wins this year. So first game is coming up on Wednesday. Be sure to check out Buc What You Heard. We will have somebody from the Miami Dolphins podcast that'll be on to discuss the team, and we'll just kind of go back and forth and get everybody some insight on what to expect on this game next Sunday. So football season is here. Let's rejoice. Let's enjoy every week. And but remember, Buc What You Heard. And we are out.